Hello, I'm here again today. Today I want to be shedding a light on something I get to hear and I get concerned about. There is this statement that nobody owes you anything. Nobody owes you anything, right? So sometimes you hear people complain online, or you may have your relatives require some form of assistance, and then you keep on hearing nobody owes you anything, that kind of stuff. You're only responsible for your nuclear family and all that. It may sound sane, excuse me please, it may sound sane, but when you make nobody owes you anything a culture, especially in a continent like Africa, I think there's something fundamentally wrong with that. Nobody owes you anything. So yes, you owe your family, your nuclear family, your 2.5 kids, all the luxury in life. Then you start hearing about crime in your home country, in your village, and you cannot visit your village. Nobody owes you anything, right? And those your cousins that live across your fenced compound, you don't owe them anything, right? But then they become hoodlums, they become criminals. They start doing negative things, they start committing mayhem in the society. But nobody owes you anything, right? And do you know that when you keep on propagating these sort of messages, do you know that the next generation starts hearing these narratives and grow up with that mentality? And when they grow up with that mentality, they enter government offices. Now, when they enter government offices, they are already wired. Their mentality is already cast in stone to tell them that they don't owe you anything. And so when you start carrying placards and running the streets with riots or demonstrations, genuinely speaking, they have always known that they don't owe anybody apart from their nuclear families anything. And so these people that you have been propagating these messages to right from infancy grow up to adults who become callous in their minds. They start believing that they don't owe anybody anything. And yes, you could argue and say, oh, but these are public funds. No, there's already a mentality that they don't owe anybody anything. And so later on, people start complaining about nepotism in the government. They start complaining about politics in the churches or in religious circles. And then you think that it is when this person is 62 years old that they will unlearn something that has already been engraved in their minds when they were 8 years old, when they were 6 years old. When your cousins come to the house and your mom organizes the better packaged foods and send to your rooms to eat so that your cousins will not know that you're eating a more delicious delicacy, you think that when you grow up, you don't have that mentality, even though you're in a government or public office. Do you really think that that's what happens? We are joking with ourselves. And let me just tell you, as blacks in particularly, we don't even have the luxury not to owe our neighbors something. And most of you are Christians that get to propagate this message. Your Bible tells you that you should love your neighbor as you love yourself. If you love yourself and you think some resources are worthy of your existence, don't you think that interpretation of love your neighbor as you love yourself means that you should owe them the amount of livelihood that you owe yourself? Now, I'm not saying that you should cut short your own livelihood for them, especially if you have more things to do. But we all know when we have come to a particular place of balance and we know that there's excess that we can use to strengthen another person's life. And I don't mean all this nonsense tokenization of gifts. So, when you train your children in Ivy League schools, then you send your cousin to one community school in your village and you claim that you have a foundation, you are joking with yourself, because forever, wherever you are, you'll be dealt with as blacks. You can wear anything, you can go to any parliament, any government environment, anywhere, you'll be experiencing racism wherever you are, because your home continent, the people that look like you are broke. The narrative around their lives is that they are broke. So you actually owe them something, because when you owe them something, you are actually owing yourself. When you give to those people, you are actually strengthening your brand and your reputation in front of the international community. So stop this nonsense of you don't owe anybody anything. You owe people something. And if you don't stop this, the next set of governments that will come into the picture would have this mentality, and they'll take care of their own families and not take care of the country or the state or whatever jurisdiction they're supposed to be governing. Thank you.